everyone, and welcome to NAB 2025.
Hi everybody, welcome to the League of Filmmakers and the League of Filmmakers show at NAB 2025. I am your host, Haeleigh Royall from Cinematography for Actors, and it is a really great honor because I have a co-host, Indeana Underhill from Cinematography for Actors, and we're excited right now to be joined by Andre and Sean. Andre, from SociallyU,
Yeah.
and Sean from Pro Cyc.
Yeah.
Hey guys!
Hi.
Thanks for joining me.
Of course.
So I'm gonna want to know a lot about both of you, any personalities, any families, everything you know.
Wow.
And
All right.
company. So can we get through that? Do you think in like 30-ish minutes?
Yeah,
Great.
they'll
Okay.
do a great job.
Awesome.
30
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with Andre. Hi, Andre.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey. Where are you from?
I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Do you live there now?
I do. That's where our studio is.
Oh, okay. Where SociallyU studio is?
SociallyU studio. Yeah.
SociallyU is online. You're big into online education and accessible education, aren't you?
We're doing a bunch of different things to kind of put them into quick categories. We're a virtual production studio. I kind of joke like we're like a practicing hospital. So we're a practicing studio. So we are always doing our own productions. We're working with really large brands like Coca-Cola, and CNN and Time Warner and Disney. We're doing things like that.
Okay.
We also have started doing a lot of consulting. So we get a lot of folks that contact us, want to know more about how to do the type of virtual production we're doing. It's all green screen. We do live chroma key production. We're a multi-camera studio running about 8 cameras, doing full tracked virtual production. And so a lot of studios have started coming to us asking for help with their lighting or how to there's a lot of tech involved in all of that.
They're so good.
So we do a lot
What's
of
your
stuff with
pixel
that.
pitch?
So good.
What's my pixel pitch?
Yes.
What am I supposed to say, 12K? Yeah, so I would just say what we are is a real-time virtual production studio that makes videos as fast as you can talk.
Amazing. And what panels do you work with?
Oh, pixel pitch.
Yes.
I now understand. I thought you were saying like, what's my pitch?
Oh no.
Using some
Well,
creative
honestly,
pixel term.
honestly, there should be a podcast started called Pixel Pitch. Yeah.
So we're all green screen.
Oh, it's all green.
Yeah. So
Otherwise, this would be a very controversial.
Awkward.
Well, it's interesting. So, okay, so
yeah.
if you're a virtual production studio, green screen, so you're having them in front of the green screen, you're lighting for that, but then everything is live, real time, going onto monitors where you've built everything in Unreal or
whatever.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Amazing.
Right, and what makes that different? I mean, it's a tool, right? So green screen's a tool, LED's a tool.
Yes.
The reason why we are green screen is for us, we're a multi-camera. So we've got 8 cameras. And so we can have 8 cameras all tracked, all rendering what needs to happen, where an LED volume can do some fun tricks around like shadowing and stuff, but it's still only a couple of cameras. So we have 8 cameras, full isolated shots that we can do.
And that's because you're doing it as fast as possible.
Yeah,
That's part of the whole thing.
Well, right, we've kind of created an assembly line approach. So we basically imagine as video number 1 is being made, we're cutting between all of it, but we can mess up. I've messed up at least 5,000 times in my life. And so, so because of that, by having the isolated shots, because they're fully rendered, now I can go back and be like, oh man, it was Haeleigh that was talking. I need to cut over to that.
Wow.
So that gives us a lot of flexibility in post. Yeah, so that's kind of thing we're up to. Just one last thing about green screen versus LED. Because we're a studio doing tons of different productions all the time, we have the problem or challenge with LEDs. You got to build a floor because we're always showing the head to toe at some point. So that's a real challenge on LED because you got to physically build out a floor. That would be super unsustainable for us because today it's a living room, tomorrow it's outside, the next day it's a whatever. And so in order to be able to make those changes quickly, having that green screen floor to ceiling, that's a big advantage of green screen. And you know, for those that are here at NAB, if you come by our booth at the Pro Cyc booth, you'll see what a real-time key looks like. And at least from day one, people seem to be super blown away about what's actually capable using the Blackmagic Ultimatte 12.
And then Sean, does Pro Cyc, do you do any consulting with these guys to help them figure out best practices?
No, not really. He knows way more than me about this stuff. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Still learning.
Yeah, we're
So I know that a lot of the time with green screen, one of the drawbacks that filmmakers find is it's hard to match the lighting to what will eventually be in there. What are some best practices to make sure that that doesn't happen?
Yeah, lighting is critically important and often overlooked. And Andre could speak more about the lighting techniques, but a critical part of a believable virtual set is having the light on the talent match what's going on in the virtual scene. So
pick your background before no.
Well, I mean the lighting has to match, or complement what's knowing what the virtual background is, and so there's a couple different ways to create virtual sets. There's the Unreal, so that's actually a digitized background. And then there's what you kind of specialize in, which is shooting plates, where you actually go to a physical location and you kind of map out where your cameras are going to be. And if I say anything wrong,
you're doing so good. He's doing so good.
And even focal length, aperture, distance from the talent to the camera and everything, and you actually shoot a video with the number of cameras, the number of perspectives you're going to use, and then recreate that in your studio. And then the key, we keep saying key, no pun intended, but the key is to have the lighting in your studio match. And so I talked about before the importance of the color of green to enable him to kind of get very nuanced, light it like a portrait photographer or a videographer or DP or something like that. And that's something that I think with someone like you that's bringing that more to the forefront, the importance of it to actually bring that up to the next level of photorealism, to where you're like, if you didn't know it was being shot on a green screen, which is where we're going, you wouldn't know, kind of like AI. Like
we've heard that a lot. It's like this last day. People like, if I didn't see this, there was a green screen right here in front of me, I wouldn't believe that this is green screen. So one last thing I'd add to that is, because we can do it all in real time now, I think that's a massive change, because before it was like, well, the light's going to come in from this way and there will be shadows. And now we can actually see it. And it's like, oh, that shadow line's a little weird. Move the light to the left. So being able to composite it all in real time, I think that's kind of a big strategic advantage that just we haven't had
fixing it in post anymore.
At all. And it was super not accessible before. I mean, it wasn't long ago the Ultimatte was like $30,000 or something.
40.
And now, it's a lot of money. And now it's like, I don't know, it starts at like $500 or $800.
Are you using the Blackmagic Ultimatte set?
Yeah. So we're a very Blackmagic ecosystem using the Blackmagic Ultimatte 12 4K. Yeah.
I am trying to get them, when we get back to LA, in our studio to teach us Ultimatte, and so we can do a course on Ultimatte. Like a free course that people can come in and learn it, because I've been hearing so much about how easy that workflow is once you nail it. Like, it's not easily done, but like how it sells. You're just
it's incredible.
He's got some amazing tutorials on YouTube.
Fantastic.
You can look at right now.
All right, we got to put those on our website. So
please
you get the people.
Well,
do either of you foresee any integration of both LED and green screen for any reason in the future?
Oh, absolutely.
Or is it happening already?
It's happening already.
Wow.
Yeah.
How would they do that? What's the use case there?
So there's pros and cons to both, and you certainly are familiar with that. But the biggest difference is the cost, right? Getting into an LED volume, significant expense just to get into it, and then the amount of power, energy it takes. I didn't even know it's significant.
It is. It
can be very significant. But there are challenges. He mentioned the multi-camera thing. He mentioned you can have LEDs on the floor, but you can't create shadows, which is important in a virtual set because it's light. So normally in an LED volume, you're having to create your foreground or just not have a foreground. In green screen, that's quite a bit different, quite a bit easier. So they call it a hybrid workflow, or you might have an LED volume for some of the advantages there, where your talent can actually see what's going on and interact with it in that way. And it's kind of advantageous there. Or the green screen, where you're able to, like you said, a lot more flexibility with multi-camera, with inexpensiveness, and then being able to change things in post if you have to.
Have you ever seen it being used together, like at the same time?
Yeah. Absolutely. There's a couple demonstrations right now going on.
For like reflections, for like ceilings, when people do like LED, like volume tiles on the ceiling, and then they'll do green screen around. Right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
so many different ways. So many different ways to combine those two things.
What is the use case for the new color? Who's going to use it? Why was it made?
Yeah, I would say
Andre's going to use it.
I'm using it.
But
smaller
why?
studios. So still is one of the drawbacks of green screen, right? So in a bigger studio, you can usually pull the talent farther off the wall. You can use light to kill spill.
Yep.
Smaller studios, that's more difficult.
Yeah.
Most people are probably in smaller studios,
Yeah.
so that would be a benefit to that. And so, yeah,
That's cool.
That's kind of the main.
Yeah.
When you say new color, is it paint for a cyc wall, or are you doing seamless backdrops?
So it's starting with paint, right?
Okay.
So our main products are cyclorama, like seamless cyclorama, modular cycs, right? From a small up to a
Pro
huge
Cyc.
network studio, yeah. So that's kind of where we started, and specializing in just like the best, most seamless backgrounds you could have, because that way you eliminate shadows, you can light it evenly, which is very important. Andre's kind of taking it to the next level where he creates shadow light zones and things like that, which is incredible. And you're able to do that a little more with a darker color as well. But we make a flooring material that's kind of like a vinyl plastic that to match the paint. So that's the other part of it. And we'll have that coming out as well to match that paint. So
my question that I so rudely interrupted you with before.
No, it's okay.
So excited. What is the process of deciding you need a new color of paint and then creating a color of paint?
And then you have to test it all because it
Yeah,
has to
it's
be
a lot.
perfect,
Do you
right?
have to go meet people
Yeah.
who can make paint?
yeah, we've shipped it to a few different people, but the process is hearing somebody going, I'd really like it if you had a darker color of paint. Like, really? Are you sure?
Yeah.
And, because then, like you said, there's a whole process. Okay, go to work with a specific paint manufacturer and say, can you make something like this? Send it to him. We came down and painted your whole studio, and the next week he's like, yeah, that's not going to work.
I'm like, I'm
are
so
they
sorry.
sending you like small swatches at first, and you're doing a little corner like on the
Couple-
bathroom wall, and then you send a
No.
whole bucket?
Kind of like, just kind of give some of the specifics. We need it a little darker, a little more blue. We want it really flat. There's the color spectrum thing, and then make us a sample, and then a couple gallons to go paint a wall and say, Andre, do you have any time to check this? And he's like, yeah, maybe in like 3 months I'll get it around to it.
So I have one very important question, maybe the most important question we've ever asked on this show.
The most,
Is your entire house or bedroom painted green screen because you live and breathe green screen?
No, my wife would kill me
I
if
know.
I had
Yeah,
such a thing as that.
There
Yeah,
are multiple,
that's funny.
there are 3
Are there
colors.
cameras?
That's right, there are.
Yeah.
Are there cameras in your bed?
No.
Are there 8 cameras in your bedroom in every room you have?
In every kitchen,
In every
kitchen,
thing.
every living room.
Yes.
Work-life balance.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
For
That's
sure,
right.
for sure.
That's right.
That's so cool. Okay, so tell me an NAB story from, we're only a day and a half in-ish, from yesterday about someone who came up and you gave a demo to and what their feedback was. Something you're excited about.
Well, it's like anything, and I think this is what this industry and what we're talking about is. It's like a Venn diagram of art and science, right? So we're kind of merging these things together. So there's all this tech, and then there's all this like just artistic look of it, and it's hard to know when you're in the middle of it. Like, is this working, right? Because whatever your field is, you can be very nuanced in it. And sometimes you can miss the bigger picture of kind of what's happening. So for me, I would just say generally, and from a place of humility, it was just awesome to see everyone was pumped.
Oh, love it.
Literal visual reaction of body language change, gasp of like when they suddenly understand the image they're seeing up above is happening right in front of them. That's been really fun to watch.
There were people who were like, oh, that's really good. And there was a situation, somebody said, dude, that's live. That's happening right now. They're like, no, it's not. And then somebody went up and talked with the booth model, who's my daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, move like this. And I said, it's live.
Yeah.
It's very hard to
love
do that.
So I think that was exciting just to have. But some amazing people. What's awesome about NAB is we've met some just incredible people coming by. So that's been really cool. So.
Amazing. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to check out the booth.
And I want to remind everybody, if you're watching the live stream, make sure you register because we're doing a giveaway at 3 p.m. And if you're here in the audience, make sure you scan that QR code and register because we're doing a giveaway at 3 p.m.
What does the giveaway include?
We have a camera, a Cinema 6K camera. We also have a cage from Celsius. We have some mics from Hollyland. And we have
Resolve
some
Studio
swag
licenses.
and Resolve Studio licenses.
And a Pixis 6K
That's right.
going out every day.
Wow.
Anyway,
Can I just say,
Register to win.
we use the Celsius cage.
Yeah.
And that's been critical for us because it gives us a guaranteed mount point on all cameras.
So nice.
So from a tracking perspective, I can put everything train it one time, and it all works on all the cameras. It's awesome.
We have two Pixis on the booth right now.
Yeah, you can see it at the booth.
Pixi,
Pixi. I was just going to say that.
No, no one knows. I actually don't know if Blackmagic even
That's
knows.
hilarious.
Should be Pixi.
Yeah, Pixi or Pixi.
I got a few
I
Pixi.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I
One
like
Pixis
Pixi.
is- that's
Let's fight about
Let's
it.
fight.
On the next time, Haeleigh and I will fight about that. See you guys later. Bye.